How the ponies age was heavily debated in the fandom several times, but I believe I found proof for one specific theory that I thought was right for a while now. The one I'm referring to is, ponies age the same way as humans do, at least in some capacity. And I found confirmation for that in my favorite episode, The Perfect Pair. I believe you all know this one. It tells the story of the Apple Kids' parents, Pear Butter and Bright Mag, and I never expected to find such a monumental thing in there. At least until I found this little tidbit in the beautiful song You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song, or in the lines before the song starts to be exact. In there, Bright Mag says one little important thing. At the moment the scene starts, it's been 131,446 hours since he first called Pear Butter Buttercup. This amount of hours comes to roughly 15 years. It has been 15 years since their first meeting. We see at the moment the apples and pears meet and argue back when they were Philly and Colt. As I just said, they were Philly and Colt when in the timeline first events of the episode happened, but despite that they were able to talk just fine, and if my theory is right, and they are similar to humans in aging, then they should be at least 3 years old, since that is the age that human children are able to fully talk, at least according to my research. And if we add all that up, in the time of 15 years, they have grown from infants over juvenile ponies to full-grown mare and stallion, who are even allowed to marry according to equestrian law. With this, we can say that ponies and humans both become adult around the age of 18. At least the body types of Pear Butter and Bright Mag are those of fully grown ponies. Bright Mag already looked adult when Pear Butter still seemed juvenile, but I would simply explain that with he had an early puberty. And this shows us that they have a similar life cycle to the human meatbags. Philly and Colt with about 3, like a human infant. Fully grown ponies with 18, like technically adult humans, and years of youth in between. But there's one thing that still doesn't add up. The pony lifespan. If they have a similar way of aging to humans, how are some ponies able to live as long as, for example, the princesses, Starswell, or even Granny Smith did? It's easy to explain the Alicorns, or Starswell. The lifespan of Alicorns grows because of the sheer power of the combined magic of all pony races. We have Celestia and Luna as perfect unaging examples for that. And there were some theories in the past that Starswell created a spell that made him immortal, or at least prolonged his lifespan as well. I mean, he was the teacher of the princesses back in ancient Equestria. He even met T-Rag and his brother Scorpion back when they first came to Equestria, even being called a young wizard despite already looking old in that scene. But I can't explain Granny Smith. She tells us that she played a major part in the founding of Ponyville. But we also heard that Ponyville was founded hundreds of years ago in the episode Winter Wrap-Up, when Twilight tells us that they have been cleaning up winter for hundreds of years without unicorn magic. And she isn't even the only one. We see a lot, especially Apple family members, who seem to be around the age of Granny Smith. Maybe the ponies have an extremely long lifespan from the point of becoming adults by default. But even this theory becomes confusing when we see Philly Granny Smith in the Apple family reunion, who already lives in Ponyville despite being shown as an adult or juvenile pony at the founding. And it doesn't work out completely anyway, since in the last episode, The Last Problem, we can see the main 6 being elderly ponies, or at least old. Similar with Sunburst, Starlight and some background ponies. While they are old, the CMC as well as some other school ponies are only fully grown. So if any of y'all have any explanation for that, feel free to drop them in the comments. But the point I made this video about in the first place still remains not contradicted. Ponies seem to have the same way of aging that humans do, at least in the first 18 years of their life. But if y'all have any way of disproving it, go ahead and tell me. I would be happy to discuss this theory even more. But until then, let me know what you think of this theory, and until next time, fellow bronies, brony fellas, and bye.